As flood waters recede and life returns to normal in most parts of Kerala, now comes the big question. How will the state rebuild itself? The homes, the roads, the bridges, rail tracks and all the infrastructure which has been damaged in this unprecedented devastation. Rebuilding Kerala is our focus today on Urban Reality. And with us we have Mohammad Hanish, MD Kochi Metro. We also have with us Dr. Najib Zakaria, Chairman of Tridai Kerala. And we have with us Anil Kumar Bansal, Director Urban Infrastructure, IPE Global. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Mr. Hanish, the first question comes to you because you are the man on the ground. And the scale of the task ahead for all of you, sir, who are in very important positions right now is, how do you now rebuild Kerala? The Chief Minister has asked for 2,600 crore rupees support, but Kerala needs much more than money, isn't it?
That's right. In fact, we need a great deal of skilled labor, lots of building materials as well, and cost-effective technology if we are to rebuild Kerala. It's not just a question of the cleaning up of the houses. Beyond that, the basic infrastructure of the state has actually gone for a toss, and therefore we need to build it brick by brick. Be it the bridges, be it the roads, be it the buildings, be it all kinds of civic amenities, we need to build it up. That's the greatest challenge. Yeah.
The numbers that we see are, is there an estimation or these are just numbers floating around? 1 lakh homes destroyed, so many kilometers of road destroyed. Is it too early to peg down these numbers, sir? Or do you have an assessment of what needs to be rebuilt, how much?
It's essentially based on those figures that have come out of the camps, the rehabilitation camps, rescue camps, and it's based on the statistics that's pulled out by the Revenue Department officials. It's tentative, it's not complete. At the same time, it's around this figure, and we may even have to look up beyond this figure.
All right. What, according to you, is the biggest challenge? I mean, you've spoken about machinery, technology, people, but there's also the question of planning. How do you now get the entire state to come together to work on it? Do you see planning, capacity or resources as the biggest challenge?
Of course, the planning capacity needs to be given a greater premium because we need to have optimal resources everywhere. That's quite important. And beyond that, it's always the question of the planning of resources and also the rebuilding of the infrastructure with the assistance of various public as well as private sponsors as soon as possible, and the way in which the retrieval of livelihood is carried out for the people.
Have you reached out to organizations outside of Kerala, expertise or experts outside? Could you run us through what is the initial thought?
Right now, it's been the relief operations which has been carried out with the assistance of as many private donors as possible and also several states of the country. Lots of aid is also pouring in from outside the country. Now we go on to the next stage, that is the rehabilitation of these people. They go back to their houses. But in the case of at least, these many houses which have been destroyed completely, we need to provide them with a new lease of life altogether. That's the greatest challenge.
Trains full of laborers have gone back to their state. You also have a situation where best of Malayali skilled workers are not in the state but working in, UAE and other countries in the Middle East. How do you bring in such a large number of workers needed, sir?
That's the greatest challenge. We are at present, when we come to the phase of this rehabilitation or cleaning up of the houses, we already are facing acute shortage of labor. Be it the plumbers, be it the electricians, be it persons required for other purposes of mending, various equipments of the houses. We are finding it extremely difficult to locate persons. That's wherein we need a greater deal of support coming in, better technology coming in, and better application of technology as well.
Mr. Hanish, thank you very much for joining us on this discussion. And of course, like you said, there are big challenges. Dr. Najib, my question to you is that, as Tridai, getting skilled labor is not easy at any stage or any state of construction, right? Now you have a situation where you need large forces coming in. Is that the biggest challenge? People, skilled manpower?
See, to begin with, people in part of rehabilitation and reconstruction, obviously a lot of manpower, skilled and unskilled, both will be required. In this interim period, I think there is an interim period wherein, now a lot of people are trying to move out of relief camps, and numbers are as much as over 10 lakhs. So the thumb rule would give us an indication that at least 2 lakh homes would have been affected, of which a lot of which may be just water, flash flooding affecting it, many of which have been because of landslides, and many of the homes being washed away, and many of them partially or severely damaged. So each of it needs a detailed assessment. Before detailed assessment, we need a rapid assessment in that locality. Each localities have to be identified, rapid assessment of those areas, followed by detailed site assessment. Now, only after you assess, you can decide what kind of cleaning is required. Some places muck as much as 3 or 4 feet are there. You have you have carcasses, you have all kinds of snakes. So a very safety protocol has to be adopted, wherein a lot of cleaning material, cleaning people are required for those kind of places which can be cleaned and people can move in. But as Mr. Hanish said, we need a proper plan for reconstruction. Reconstruction involving multiple solutions, effective use of technology, better homes. We need a better Kerala going forward.
Okay, I get that. So let me come to you, Mr. Bansal. I mean, here we have a country where infrastructure projects are delayed. It's a norm rather than an exception. And here is a state which is dealing with collapsed infrastructure. You have urban local bodies which don't have the capacity. You have an added problem of having skilled expertise, architects, designers, town planners. How do you see Kerala rebuilding itself? I mean, what are going to be the bigger challenges other than people? Planning?
Yeah, planning is very important. Like we can see that, in fact, this particular hazard has happened because of the lack of planning. Not only in Kerala, in all our urban areas, this is the most important factor.
In fact, in your note, you said that, urban floods are becoming more and more common, and cities are most affected when things like this happen.
Cities are most affected because this is a natural hazard. Of course, with this kind of rain, any state or any city will face a problem. But especially nowadays, in our cities, we are facing a huge problem of urban flooding because we don't have the natural drains, and we don't have the efficient drainage systems in our cities. Whatever drainage system or canal, especially we have a huge canal system in Kochi and in other parts of the Kerala, which is very narrow now. So a lot of encroachment has taken place. So we are facing all these challenges in cities.
All right. Let me come to you, Dr. Najib. A lot of times there is this big question that, the way we are developing our cities or the way we are developing our states is not the best. This sort of a devastation, though, I can only say that the minor silver lining could be that it gives everybody in Kerala and across India a chance to relook at how we are developing. Is this a time to reset in terms of how you will build the entire planning issues as well?
See, obviously planning, zoning, and taking care of ecologically sensitive areas are all important and absolute. Now, urban planning happens in only urban areas, if you see. And there, depending on the population demand and the need, infrastructure improvements happen. There is also the social infrastructure. There is also public infrastructure. All the roads and bridges, all this is all required. And we still have a long way to go before we can say our state is very populated, you must understand. The highest density of population in India is in Kerala. So, and we have 50% is forest, which is nothing happens. 10% are water bodies, and you have 15% agricultural land, and you have only population dwellings in 15%, where the density 15%, which is open areas, have been developed for urban requirements, as part of urbanization. So, in that, definitely there will be areas where we need proper zoning, and you need expert designers to also ensure that going forward. Now, all the areas are not dense. Cities are only the areas which are dense. Rest of the areas, if you see, each have their own land parcels. Each of them build their own single-storied houses, double-storied houses maximum. And of course, there is the NRI returning, building the house in their own hometowns. Okay. Now, everything is not because of encroachment. The flash flood situation is unexpected, totally unexpected. The water river deluging a river is literally moving 5 kilometers into the land side is not, it's a once in a century or whatever because of, various factors. So you cannot plan for these kind of things. You need better disaster management steps in place. And I must commend the people of Kerala for having worked tirelessly, both public and government, for having, saved as many lives as possible.
Right. I mean, Dr. Najib has said something very important, and you've also said that, the highest rainfall in 87 years, irrespective of what you had done, maybe in retrospect, you could have opened the dams a little bit earlier. I don't know. I mean, there are various opinions going back and forth. But just if you were to lay out as a consultant who looks at rebuilding infrastructure, what are 3 or 4 things that the government now needs to do? I mean, I know that they're constituting a body to start working on a plan to rebuild, but going forward from cleaning up homes seems to be the first step. Yeah. But going forward, what are the things that they can do? Yeah,
because in short term, of course, the main priority of the state and all our cities is to bring everybody to the normalcy. And we have to restore our houses, we have to restore our electricity, water supply, the drinking water problem. We have to restore all these basic necessities which are there for all the cities. But now, moving to the larger issues, I think all the cities in Kerala and also in all the cities, we need an integrated stormwater drainage master plan, which is necessary for all the cities. So, a flood mitigation plan. Yeah.
So flood mitigation plan, and you're saying that drainage plan has to be stormwater.
All our natural drains, I think we need to restore them. We need to restore our water bodies so that in the
and
flood
there is a chance to do it now. If you're rebuilding, reconstructing, might as well do it.
Why not? Why not? We have good examples also, like you can see the example from Surat, which was like they fought a plague in 1994, but now it's one of the best cities in terms of sanitation and solid waste management. So now this is a blessing in disguise, but take it as a chance that now we can actually start our exercise. We can do real planning. Our infrastructure has to be climate resilience infrastructure now. So this is a chance. I think we should take it in a positive manner and build from here.
All right. Okay. Well, rebuilding Kerala is going to take time. Dr. Najib, thank you very much for talking to us. And Mr. Bansal, pleasure to have you with us. It's not an easy task, but like our panelists say, that the floods have given the state government an opportunity to think anew about how they will plan infrastructure, cities, and in fact, even the interior parts of Kerala. When we come back, we move to another important topic, the JP infrastructure resolution process, to find out how do 20,000 plus home buyers get the best deal in this process. Stay with us.